Welcome. And as you can see, we are on an hour earlier from our normal scheduled time. We usually go on at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, but we thought we would come to you this time at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time because this is the special All-Star Weekend edition of BasketBros. And the reason why we are on an hour early is because, well, an hour from now is tip-off for the 2023 NBA All-Star Game. With that being said, I am your host and moderator, Denzel Snipes, and this is being brought to you in part by the good folks at Sideline Sports. So shout out to JB Ellis, John Shearer, Jake Malik, Eric Wilson, the executives at Sideline Sports. It's more than just this show, guys. You just saw the intro video. We have a plethora of shows. We got the Gauntlet, 3 Chicks in the Pod, Chicks and Salsa, Sideline Sports Show, Sports Arena, Ball Don't Lie, Cold Hard Truth, the Rude Dog Show, BasketBros, Punted Views. We're all over the place, you know. So before we get started, just wanted to bring my all-star teammates in here tonight. Coming all the way live. He's visiting his grandparents right now. I'm not sure where that is. Now maybe it's somewhere in Charlotte or somewhere in North Carolina, or maybe he's out east. I don't know. He's kind of everywhere. He may even be in Europe this time next week. You never know. But this is DJ Willie V. Will Vogel. Come on in.
I've taken my talents to Boca this week.
Oh, you're in Boca Raton. Okay. Oh, man, you're in Vendome's in Florida. You could have met up with him.
I tried last week, but he's like, I'm busy, and he left today. But I'm here till Wednesday, so I'll be taking I'm getting traded back to Charlotte in a few days.
Okay. All right then. Well, we all were talking, of course, you know, before the show and everything. And yeah, I mean, really quick, like your thoughts on Dame Lillard winning the 3-point contest.
Oh, I picked him from the get-go. I know you got Buddy Hield, Tyrese Halliburton, and Buddy Hield's won it. And it's been due time for Dame. Dame's been at I think it was his third time. And he said third time's a charm. And I thought it was cool. He pulled up his old Weber State jersey.
Yes, he did.
He said, I think he's like, if I don't win in this, then I may just have to retire.
And he got it done. Well, bringing in our other all-star teammate here on the BasketBros. He is the architect of the Pundits Punted. You heard me mention it in the list of shows, and you've seen it in the list of shows. He is the architect of the Pundits Punted, and he also has Punted Views, which has come out about 2 months ago now, where he does really great in-depth one-on-one interviews with all of his guests. It's awesome conversation. Monday nights, you know, don't miss it. But here's Jacob Christner. Come on in.
Well, you said the all-star of this team. Well, considering what I said about Sarah Spain earlier today, I'm going to probably be like Craig Hodges at 93 with a generic NBA jersey. You know, barely be able to get in a three-point shootout.
Yeah, pretty much. I asked Will's thoughts on the three-point shootout. What are your thoughts on Mac McClung winning the dunk contest?
I love it.
He's a freak of nature.
He's
been dunking like that since high school, and he's just a freak.
Well, he definitely fooled a lot of people on the black shot back in the day.
Did you see what he did after the final round? He did the Vince Carter.
I say this. After anybody that's been on Ball His Life all their darn existence know who this guy is and knew he was going to win it.
Yeah.
Oh, I called it too. I was like, this kid's been dunking.
If you've been on Ball His Life, you knew this was happening.
Yeah,
and they asked
it was inevitable.
Oh, dude. And then Dr. J passing it to another Sixer, that's just cool.
Yeah, that was great. Absolutely. Well, as you can see, that we are sponsored by the Score No Score app. You can find it on Google Play and on the Apple App Store. And also, if you are watching us right now on one of the 3 platforms you see below, great. Just know that you can reach us also by the other 2. So we're on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitter. Some of you are probably watching me. I know I always set up my streams for Facebook, so you watching me on there. But we're on YouTube also. We're also on Twitter. You can watch us on Twitter as well. So just know that there are many avenues that 3 right there, and also there's a couple others out there. DBTV. Other sources, we stream a whole lot. So we're pretty hard to miss. So make sure you hit that like button for this episode, but hit the subscribe button to Sideline Sports because, as mentioned before, we've had a plethora of great shows and content 24/7. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get the festivities rolling. This is the special BasketBros NBA All-Star Weekend edition, and we're doing some great throwback topics for you. Let's go ahead and get to our first one, and that is the best three-point contest in NBA All-Star Weekend history. I'm going to go first on this one, and I'm going to say All-Star All-Star Weekend, rather, three-point shootout, 1991. Craig Hodges drains 19 straight three-pointers, which is still a record that stands today. And he still holds the record for the most in one round. He went 21 of 25. We talk about Curry, Clay, Dame, who won last night, obviously. But there was also the original Del Curry. You know, Mitch Richmond was a sniper in his own right, and so was Craig Hodges. I actually said Hodges was the best three-point shooter out of that Bulls squad. Which, I mean, is it pretty fair to say? I mean, the guy, of course, you know, they didn't shoot threes like that back then. But, I mean, you got to think, man, 19 straight threes. And this is 1991, y'all. This is a 32-year-old record. I hope I said that right. Yes, 32-year-old record, which still hasn't been broken. Clay's been in this game. Dame's been in this game. All these other shooters in between. And they still couldn't pull off 19 straight three-pointers. So that's my pick. So not only for the best three-point contest, but the best three-point participant and winner in general. But I'm going to swing it over to Will Vogel and give us your thoughts on who is the best three-point contest in history. And also, if you want, who's your favorite winner? You there?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, you didn't hear?
It's breaking up a little bit still.
Oh, okay, no, I was saying I was passing it to you, your favorite three-point contest in history, and if you want, your favorite winner.
To a circle.
Wow. I think his signal's kind of messing up here.
Either that or some kind of sperm is kind of moving around there somewhere.
Oh, hey, hang on, here he comes.
Am I good?
Okay, you there? Yep, you're good now.
Okay, it was like you were breaking up a lot. I just need to connect to this Wi-Fi whenever I find out the password. My favorite three-point contest, I cheated a little bit. It's 2015. Stephen Curry made 27 out of 34 shots in the revamped format that started in 2013-14. He made 13 straight of threes. And he's a two-time champion now, and he was going against Marco Bellinelli, J.J. Redick, James Harden, Wesley Matthews, Kyle Korver, Kyrie Irving, and his teammate, Klay Thompson. So that's a pretty darn good field because Marco Bellinelli, J.J. Redick, James Harden, Kyle Korver, Klay Thompson, those guys, not an easy field, especially going against your own teammate.
Right. It's kind of like you knew it was going to come down to that.
Let me see if I'm better in another room real quick.
Okay, it's okay. I'm going to pass it over to Jacob Christner. Now, go ahead, and this is the best three-point contest in history. Go ahead and say Larry Bird's warm-up jacket and why.
I'm going to go 6. I'm going to go 6 of them. 6 through 88, 90 through 92.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'm
going to go 6 because, you can't even say, well, let's see them go against each other because Bird already beat Hodges once. So no, he already did. So you can't even say that. But guess what? It is absolutely positive. But you got to realize the reason I was saying that. The finals of each with Craig Hodges, Detlef Schrempf, let's see, Dale Ellis, and then you had but here's another thing to think about: 1990s, 1990, Michael Jordan tried it.
Yeah.
I mean, for all the amount of work that he put in, he hits 5 points. He hit 5 points in that first round, guys, butt kicked. And it shows. This isn't as easy as you think. You got to remember, someone like him wasn't releasing. I mean, he was just he had the ball the whole time. He had the ball the whole time. He was everything like that, and you got to set yourself up. This is throwing it at the basket a bunch of times in 30 seconds.
Right.
So, yeah, for real.
60 seconds or 60 seconds?
I think it was 60, actually.
Yeah, 60 seconds. So, no, I'm not going to say what the Bird won because I'm going to say 86 through 88, 90 through 92 because you have two of the greatest three-point shooters there was. And in truth, Hodges could have gone for 4. But it's like, and he did get a shot, but he had no. He was practicing on a. He was practicing in a like little bitty Pee Wee League basketball stadium. He had no NBA team. They gave him a jersey, a real generic jersey, and it was all that, and he still beat Mark Price first round.
Yeah.
So there was a chance of getting it, but it's like it wasn't the same as it could have been, and he was out of the league for good. So and then after everything else, it's just kind of smattering. But you're talking about Klay Thompson's there, then you have Karl Anthony Towns being the only center to win it.
Yeah.
You got all those, and it's like there's been a smattering. It's like, but when you get Craig Hodges hitting 19 in a row, or Bird doing this after the shot, or winning 2 in a row with a warm up on.
Mm-hmm.
When 2 would roll out of the 3 with a warm up without, while LeBron complains about a shirt on Christmas Day. Yeah. It's like when you have those words. See, the thing is, though, that's called charisma. The contest had charisma, kind of like Jordan versus, we're going to talk about this, Jordan versus Dominique and that thing. It was called charisma.
It was.
The contest. So that's why I'm going to say 86 through 88, 90 through 92.
Absolutely. And with with Bird, it's funny with Bird because, and I get it. At this time period, it wasn't really a three-point shooting era. But Bird, and what'd you say his 3-point attempt average per game was at the time period? He only attempted like 2 or 3?
1.2 a game.
And he wins a contest. Like, go figure,
3 times.
Three times.
Yeah. No. The biggest, that's just the biggest thing was, and you got to remember what the prize was in those days. The 3 years, 86 or 88, $10,000. That was I mean, so that tells you the gray hair of us remember when money wasn't that huge.
Right. Hey, one of our guys, what up, John Scherer? This one here's for you, Jacob. Says, being a Hurricanes fan, watched the Stadium Series game last night. They talked about Jimmy V a lot. Will be interesting to hear Jacob speak about him sometime.
Oh, Valvano? What are you talking about, Valvano?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love Jim Valvano.
I met Bob Valvano once. I would say I met Bob Valvano once because one of his teams went to our town in Quincy. He was the coach.
Oh, nice. So
I met him once, but he was on the court, and Bruce Pearl too, when he was at Southern Indiana. So yeah, I'll talk about Jimmy Valvano sometime. No problem at all.
Oh yeah, I will too. Like I did a high school project on Jim Valvano, and I got an A+.
Well, Valvano, the biggest thing with him was the fact that he was exceptionally emotional, and what you have to remember is how he got one more bit of energy left for that when he had cancer and he got that speech.
Yeah.
It's like you knew he was sick because he didn't have anything left. I mean, this was a guy, every ounce of him was yelling. I mean, I think that's exactly where Dick Vitale got his shtick in the first place, was Jimmy Valvano.
Right.
I think they were close friends, if I'm not wrong.
They very much were. And it's like you got to remember, like when you get someone like Jimmy Valvano's North Carolina State upset, when you get Villanova over Georgetown, this tells you how good these other teams were, the ones that were upset. Because they hit something along the lines of like it was like 84%. I mean, Villanova had 84% to win by 2. They in the second half, the whole thing, like 84%, they had to win by 2. And then you get North Carolina State, who had an unbelievable second half, and they win by 1.
Yeah.
And that's coaching. Every bit of that is coaching, because 9 times out of 10, they're getting beat.
Yeah.
Even if it is Valvano, if it is everything. I don't think Valvano even believed he won it, because he was running onto the court looking for something to hug.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, good time to move on to our next topic. And that is, I know we've talked a little bit about this before, but best dunk contest in NBA All-Star Weekend history. Of course, as everyone knows, Mac McClung won it last night with an awesome, what was it, a 540 or officially a 720?
540.
Like a 540, yeah. I was just like, what? And it's crazy because I remember, and I think Stackhouse participated in 2000, but you know how he had his 360 dunk, you know what I mean? And Stackhouse was a Tar Heel because he did it then, didn't he? Will?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then this guy hits a nasty like 5. Man, that was just ridiculous. But absolutely well deserved. And I believe Mac they said is the 5th shortest man to win the dunk contest.
Yes.
But as far as
he looked like Spud Webb already. I didn't believe
I thought he was like, I was like, okay, because I know they hyped their stats up. They list him at 6'2". He's 6 foot even.
I say 5'11".
He's probably 6 even. He might even be 5'11". You know, but my favorite in history, don't get me wrong, love 2000, I do. But 1988, I mean,
man,
Jordan versus Neek. Jordan versus Neek. I actually thought you were going to take 2000, but no, I'll keep it short. A lot of people forget that this actually was a rematch of 1985. Dominique won the first one. He edged out Jordan when Jordan was a rookie. I mean, this right here was just awesome. You had the final. Dominique's final dunk was a two-handed windmill slam and scored a 45. Jordan had his takeoff dunk from the free throw line, which technically he was a step over. That one netted a perfect 50, but it was just and Jordan even said after Dominique's two-handed windmill slam, he said, I was shocked. I would have given him a 49 or a 50. But yeah, he went and he hit the Dr. J free throw line dunk and ended up closing it out. It was just a bang out fest between them two. It was awesome. They were supposed to have rematched actually 2 years earlier. Both players were injured, but they ended up squaring off in '88. And I don't know, man. I feel like there's still unfinished business. I think that deserved a rubber match, but I digress. We'll pass it to Will. Will, who do you got for best dunk contest in All-Star Weekend history?
So, I also chose the 1988 dunk contest, but I'm going to give 2 honorable mentions. The Dr. J dunk contest, I know it's not NBA, it's ABA, but still, it's part of history. Mm-hmm. Free throw line, iconic, gets a 50, wins it. And then I would say the Vince Carter's up there. And then another one is when it was Aaron Gordon versus Zach LaVine, where Zach LaVine pulled up the Space Jam jersey.
Oh, man, yeah.
That was just, either guy could have won that. But I'm going with 1988 too, because it was just iconic. It's what I think of when I think of dunk contest. Wilkins previously beat Jordan, like you stated. It was in Chicago Stadium, so it was nice for Jordan to compete in his home stadium.
It was.
The two of them combined for 4 out of the 6 perfect scores in that dunk contest. 4 out of the 6.
That's
insane.
Disgusting.
Also, this dunk contest was no slouch. You had Dominique, of course. You had Michael Jordan. You had Greg Anderson, Otis Smith. You had Spud Webb. You had Clyde Drexler. Yeah, a loaded dunk contest. And I agree with Jordan. Like, man, imagine if they went to a dunk off. That would have been insane. That would have literally been insane. But yeah, this definitely, whenever you think of the iconic Jordan moments, this is definitely one of them. And yeah, it would have been definitely awesome to see a rubber match between the two before both of them hung it up.
You talk about
that's my choice. But that's my choice.
Oh yeah, man. Great commentary on that one. You talk about moments in Chicago Stadium history. I think the nickname of that place was called the Madhouse on Madison. Yeah, that right there, and especially because not only was it held at Chicago Stadium, Jordan wins the dunk contest, and then the next day he took home All-Star Game Most Valuable Player. So yeah, it's like they kind of completed the trifecta of sorts. But I'll pass it on to Jacob. Jacob, who do you have for your best dunk contest in NBA All-Star Weekend history, and why?
This one. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this here. I didn't watch it live. I was playing chess with my nephew. Proud of it too. That he ended up beating me. We had a good match. We had a good everything else. And right in the middle of the whole thing, we're getting at it. We're watching. We're playing. And you're getting all these things like, oh my God, Mac McClung. Oh my God, then I watch it. So I go home and I watch it. That you can always say 88. The Jordan and Dominique. You can always say 2000. See, here's the thing, and you can even say Dwight Howard being Superman. You know what
that has a heavy case too. Yes, and didn't he win it twice?
Yeah.
Back to back.
You know what's another one? I'm sorry to interrupt, Jacob.
This was one where you had the little bitty hero with Mac McClung and the villain in Lisa Leslie. The villain Lisa Leslie, because she did. Here's what it was. He had 5 dunks. First one. Second one. 49. 49. And it's like, and then boom. It's like
it's charades with Jacob Christner.
And then the third one. Just like, wow. Fourth one, and then he keeps raising up. And by the fifth one, she got up first and put up the 50.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
You watch the whole thing. Watch her. She gets up first, put the 50. She didn't want to do the sweeps, the 5 sweeps. So she even got herself booed, giving them making it 49.8 on the second one. But
she was as bad as Dwayne Wade when he screwed old boy over.
Yeah, but it's like,
oh yeah.
But that's the thing, though. By the 5th one, she got up first and raised it, and it's like, and I was like, you just have a little storyline. She's the evil, and she's everything, and then that little guy won her over.
Yeah.
So a little guy won her over, and it's like, and do you know something? We can all talk about Jeremy Lin. Lin Sanity. 3 weeks of a lifetime. And he got in the NBA, and he stayed in the NBA about 10 years, whatever. Yeah. And everything like that. This will be a lesser Linsanity for a moment. Lesser. It won't last 3 weeks. But it won't. But you know something? There's something to be said about having that moment in time. When you've been in G League, you've played 2 games in your career. You've made $100,000 in your career. You know what I mean? And there's something to be said about having that moment in time that you're getting on Sports Center that your kids can remember. And then while you've moved on to some business stuff or being a coach or whatever. But it's something to tell your grandkids. It's something very few people get a chance at this. So congratulations. Yes. Yeah, I will say this. Congratulations, Mac McClung. You have the best of all time.
Yeah. And shout out to him, and hopefully he has a long and profitable career. One thing about the dunk contest, or even the 3-point contest, is it's an easy way to your 15 minutes of fame. Now, when you're a 3-time 3-point champion, like Craig Hodges, your 15 minutes kind of gets extended. Remember when Quentin Richardson, what year was it he won a dunk contest? That was what, 2005? Something like that?
What was it, 07?
Sounds right.
07.
Something like that. So 05 or 07, yeah. But outside of that, he was a role player. Seemingly, it's the role players that win these things outside of Dwight Howard or Neek or Jordan.
Because you're not going to see LeBron James in these things. It's like,
exactly.
But like I said, though, this is not. I'm not going to bash on LeBron on that. He's changed the world as far as athletes. It's like they're going to be making. You're not going to see stars in these things anymore because you're not getting them any incentive.
True.
It's like $10,000. That was no incentive. Bird was just doing it for Bird and Hodges were doing it for competition. It was ego. But it's like $10,000. He probably bought a new fishing boat with it. It. Probably did. Who cares? And it's just one of those things where it's like now you need to. Unless you tell these guys, get them in the contract. If you win a slam dunk contest, we'll get you another $500,000 on your contract on that thing, which they're not going to do.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say real quick, 2003 was another great one with Jason Richardson.
Yeah. Yep, it sure was.
Then, wanted to say real quick. Do you guys know who came in second place for the least experience after Mac McClung
Who's
for a
that?
dunk contest? For like less amount of NBA games played.
Oh, who's that?
Kobe.
Oh, 97. This
Yep.
is true. 97. Huh. Okay,
So it goes
then.
Mac, Kobe.
Then Kobe, yep. Well, we are at the midway point of the show. So we'll be right back. We're going to pay some bills real fast. And once again, here's that video you saw in the beginning in case you missed it. And we're back on the All-Star Weekend edition of BasketBros. As you can see, these are our plethora of shows, our lineups. So shout out to the guys at First and 56. That's our Indianapolis Coach centric show. Also, Confidential will be back this Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jacob Christner is going to be there. Jim Matthew Lewis is going to be there. Jordan Long is going to be there. Hosted by J.B. Ellis and produced by
That
your
means a
boy.
triple header. That means a triple header for me on Wednesdays.
Yes, absolutely. And also produced by myself, and we've also got a few guests. We're gonna have some more guests coming on this year. So of course, Will Vogel is gonna be coming on whenever his Yankees play the Cubs, and we've also got plenty of people lined up who's gonna be coming on and giving some pretty great commentary, including the return of a great. And we'll keep that on the hush right now.
Wait. I think I know.
No guessing. We're not playing the guessing game. If you know who it is, don't do it. Don't do it. Just after.
Okay.
I talked to this person, and he can, and they confirmed that they're gonna be there.
It's a he. So
That's a he. That's a he.
Oh, I know.
It narrows it down to about 200 people. But anyway, let's get it back here. Let's see.
I'll talk to you backstage after the show.
Once again, we are on Sideline Sports on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, but also hit the subscribe button. That way you can tune into all of these shows and get alerted and notified. Put the notifications on too. Y'all go all in. Come on, now invest in us. Whenever a show goes on the air, boom, you get notified. You can tap real quick, give a peek, stay the whole time, pop some popcorn, eat a meal, listen to some really great commentary. So, with that being said, we'll go on to our third topic here, and that is our BasketBros moment in time, and that is the 2003 NBA All-Star Game. Kevin Garnett took home the MVP honors with 37 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 steals. This also remains the last All-Star game to be decided in overtime. Pretty crazy. But this was Will's pick. I'm going to pass it on to him. Your thoughts on the 2003 NBA All-Star Game, and did you feel KG deserved MVP?
There was a lot of names that could have been MVP. There was a lot of players in double-digit scoring. That's an amazing stat line, so why not? Like, that's almost halfway to a triple-double. 5 steals away from a triple-double and 1 rebound. But more importantly, this is Jordan's last All-Star game. This is the last hurrah for Jordan. Vince Carter was expected to start, as we all know, and he said, I've been so injury-prone this year. Please give it to MJ. And Michael Jordan took it, and it was a crazy. I think I was reading because I was living at Europe at the time. Mariah Carey did the halftime show. She was wearing a Jordan Wizards jersey.
She was. I remember that.
Yeah, it was iconic. Let's see. This is the first time since the 90s that the NBA made all-star jerseys the previous 5 years before. They all wore their team jersey home and away.
Mm-hmm.
This is also, fun fact, the first NBA All-Star game to go to cable TV. TNT carried it.
Awesome.
So, fun fact, love TNT. Love Inside the NBA. Love those guys. Um, and yeah, what more can you say? You've got a young Vince Carter, you got a young Kobe, you got a young KG playing with one of the greatest of all time and relishing that opportunity. And KG was already a dominant force in the NBA, and he was growing into one of the best power forwards of all time, and deservingly so of the MVP. So, yeah, the reason I chose this was because it was Jordan's last All Star game. Maybe next year I will think of, if we're still running, of doing Kobe's last All Star game. Maybe like a string of last All Star games. But yes, this one is definitely memorable. I know Jason Richardson won the dunk contest this year. I want to
Mm-hmm.
say did Peja win the 3-point?
I think Peja did win it.
Think, and also fun fact, um, the skills challenge was introduced to NBA All Star Weekend
Sure
this year,
was.
and I want to say the inaugural winner was it Nash?
It might have been Nash. I'm gonna have to look that up.
But yeah, definitely one to remember.
Absolutely. So much that came as you could say that the 2003 All Star Weekend in general revolutionized All Star Weekend. And most definitely MJ's last All Star game. Also, with this, MJ became this was his 13th All Star game appearance, which put him at second all time. So he had that going for himself, and I'm pretty sure now that's been broken by LeBron, but or something like that.
Yeah, LeBron broke it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but pass it on to Jacob Christner. Your thoughts on the '03 All Star game, maybe even All Star Weekend in general.
Well, through the All-Star game, first off, here I have the weirdest things that I think about with that. I remember Zadrunas Zagaskis getting 4 minutes.
Big Z.
He gets 4 minutes. And it's like, what's he doing there? It's like a pinch. It's like being a pinch runner in an All-Star game for baseball. It's
Pretty
like,
much.
so I mean, you can think about that. And then if the East wins, Allen Iverson would have gotten it before Michael. He had 35.
True. Yes, he did.
Yeah, and the thing is, Michael Jordan was only 9 of 27, so it's like no matter. I think he was trying for it because he had 27 shots. But the biggest thing to think about by itself is just the fact that it's like everybody was looking for that Michael Jordan give it the MVP because they're still remembering Magic from years earlier. Yeah, his final 25 points, the final one, he didn't even have a team.
Right.
You know, and they did it with Magic. They're trying it for Michael. I don't think Magic was even trying, but he just got hot. Michael was trying, and he was getting older, and it was everything, and he didn't have a great game. He had 20 points, but he didn't have a great game.
Right.
You have those, but it's like, here's another thing we don't think about. Jason Kidd had a 10 and 10 points, 10 assists, and 11 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds. And the 5 rebounds were in the first half. So if he would have had a second half of anything, he would have had a triple-double. Just like unassuming triple-double.
Wow.
So you think about that. So there are little things you think about with this whole game. But really, overall, how many more overtimes are we going to get? Because you said they haven't had one since. People don't play hard like they did.
No, they don't.
They don't play hard like they did. So if there's a winner, if there's a chance at a winner, they just leave it alone. They'll give the guy 50 feet to score it.
Yeah, no trying at all. But it is still my favorite All-Star game.
They'll start trying in the fourth quarter if it's close. If it's fourth quarter within 10 points, that's when they'll actually start running plays and everything. But everyone knows, like tonight, okay, we already know what's going to happen. It's going to be a dunk contest. They probably going to shoot wide open threes. It's going to look like a game of NBA Street, and that's cool. That's great. You know what I mean? Shoot, would you rather watch that or the Pro Bowl? I'm just saying. And then in the fourth quarter, if it's within 10 points, that's whenever they're going to start playing ball. But continue, Jacob.
I have everything. That's what the biggest thing is. But really, my favorite All-Star game is '87 because of Tom Chambers.
Ah, okay.
So it's like, yeah, this was a great one, but it's like this was a game. This was Bird's final good one, and he had 21. But it's like Chambers, you couldn't. There is just those points when you are looking at trying to get somebody an MVP, but
Pretty much.
But the one thing about an all-star game is all-star. Somebody is going to come. If somebody wants to come out, they'll do it.
Yeah.
And 87 is my favorite, really. It's but the 2003 was good. I don't know if there's going to be any more good ones, just because no one plays any kind of defense. There's no incentive.
Yeah, I mean, again, until pretty much the fourth quarter. But I did have a question for both of you though, because this has been going on for the last couple of years, and that is, what are your thoughts on, instead of just playing until the final whistle, the fourth quarter, you got like a target score now? It's gotten initially good review because I think they took it from the was it the Big Three League, or what was the other league? They took it from one of those. Oh, the basketball tournament. Yeah, they took it from the basketball tournament and they implemented it. And I mean, I don't have a problem with it. And the things I've seen, it's gotten generally like great reviews. But Will, what do you think? Do you think they should keep it or go back to the old format of just playing until triple zeros in the fourth?
I don't mind it. It speeds up the pace of play. It's not like, I'm not saying the All-Star game's slow pace of play, but I don't mind the target score, because then it's less likely that, like, in a fourth quarter, like, yeah, I know they don't try, but it's least likely someone's going to get injured or, like, gets, like, elbowed in the gut and it's like, oh, yep, there's my rib. I'm out for 2 weeks. Yeah, so it's less strain.
That's LeBron. Other people go back in the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's less
I
strain.
hate Jacob.
But I don't hate the target score. I think it's kind of cool because, like, who knows? Like, for example, if you're down 12 and this other team only needs 7 points to win, and you're down like 14, and you have Steph, you could go 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3. Like, it makes you like focus on, like, oh God, we need a 3, or oh God, get someone open. Like, it makes you think on the fly. You, instead of being like, pass the ball, dribble, get it to this guy. Oh wait, he's not open. He's in the post. Pass it back out. Like, no, I like the target score too.
Okay. And what about you, Jacob? What do you think of the target score? Do you think we should go back to the?
No matter what I would think, I'd rather have zeros, but I'm also got 45 in August. That's just what I'm used to. You understand?
No. Let's stick by your arrow. Yeah.
40. You're used to it too, and it's like, and the biggest, we're used to our world, but you got to remember they took away the Pro Bowl game and made it a flag football game. Do we like it? No, but when you saw the last 3 or 4 years of Pro Bowl games and people going, and the people aren't, there is zero. And I mean, you bring any kind of quarterback is supposed to be a Pro Bowler, but he's not doing anything.
For the record, before you continue, the reason why the Pro Bowl declined like it did is because years ago they put it before the Super Bowl. Yeah. Traditionally, it had been after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so with this one, it's like, okay, well, seeing as the Super Bowl is the main event, we got the Pro Bowl right before. Well, the players who are participating in the Super Bowl can't play in the Pro Bowl. And then on top of that, it's like, well, we're not really going to play. Whereas with the Pro Bowl being the final game, everybody played hard, and everybody, you got an injury that happened. They had, in general, outside of a torn ACL, they had the offseason to recover.
Well, and that's true, but here's the thing also, I know this is basketball, but bring this part also to it. It's just the fact that the way that the league goes, remember I've said it's all lawyers and agents now.
Yeah.
All lawyers and agents, and they did that on purpose. They do this with Major League Baseball too, on purpose. Everything's on purpose. It is for the people. it's like I can say you can say you like the thing, the All-Star game, the way we won it, or they do the target score.
Right on.
We're not their people. We're not the proper people anymore. It's like it is like when we're at Christmas Day and watching the little kids open presents.
Yeah.
It's not ours.
Yeah.
We even kind of like, oh, thank you when we get our present, but we want to see the little 4-year-old open theirs.
Yeah.
This isn't our game anymore. You want to know what is our game? Trying to buy a team, or trying to buy a team, or trying to build a network like Sideline Sports. That's
True.
ours. Ours
Yep,
was
true.
once ours was once the Larry Birds, Michael Jordans, like we had. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
today, like you had said on social media the other day, yes, LeBron's the greatest of all time. I saw what you said on that. Yes, he is. But I still make the jokes. But he became the greatest of all time in a different era when you did not have to get beat up.
Right. That is, yeah.
I'm moving a lot. I'm sorry.
And to a certain extent, I know you're good. And it's like to a certain extent, that's why we have conversations about this all the time. And it's great water cooler talk. It's great, on air talk like what we do. And a lot of people also have to realize that it's not LeBron's fault that he came in 2003 and not 1983. You see, there are some things that are
fault. That's
fault. And I'm what? It's kind of like this. It's kind of like those who are like, oh, I will never like date a certain sign. Like I'll never date a Scorpio, or I'll never date like an Aries or a Virgo or something like that. You know what I mean? And me, this is just me, but I'm never going to penalize somebody behind something that is beyond their control.
Yeah.
I can't go back in time and change when your parents had sex. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. I can't go back and change when my parents had sex. It's not my fault I'm a Virgo. You know what I mean? So So that's the thing in bridging it to what we're talking about. We have to stop penalizing players for things beyond their control.
Yeah.
If James Harden came out back in 1990, he probably would have an argument for being a top 3.
Yeah. The biggest thing about it is we also have to ask the question, would he have – asking this in 1990. Now we're bringing this with 1990. Remember, our biggest issue with James Harden, no matter – you had him in Houston. Our biggest issue with James Harden is he does not put up the gumption in the big moments. You've said it. Right. You've seen it yourself. Would he have it if he had the other players on teams in an era where you got promoted like that, where you had to be a hard worker? Would he be a floor diver? Would he be as clutch as it gets in the playoffs? Possibly. He just isn't now.
Yeah. And everyone talks about how and this gets overlooked also, because people like to take LeBron and put him back. Oh, how would he be on the 86 Celtics? How would he be on the 92 Bulls? How would he be on this and that? It sounds like a wet dream on paper. But the thing you have to consider is you are putting well, here's the thing. LeBron James is a ball-dominant player, but not by his own choice. He's always wanted to be a pass-first player. If you put him on some of those teams, he probably is a true pass-first player. But LeBron James, there's been no player in the history of the NBA that has been asked to do as much as LeBron James. He's been asked to be a distributor. He's been asked to be a rebounder. He's been asked to play defense. He's been asked to be a scorer.
Has to carry the team.
Exactly. And you know what? I'll use another example. Okay? So let's take, say, who's somebody right now? Giannis. Okay? Yeah. Oh, let's put Giannis. Let's see. Jordan never really had no big man. Let's put Giannis with the 92 Bulls. You're putting a ball-dominant player with another ball-dominant player. How do you think that's going to go?
Oh, exactly. And the biggest thing about it is, here's what's crazy. If you have ball-dominant, it clashes. If you would have two passers like Bird and LeBron on the same team, it's just you got two guys with 30 points every night.
Yeah. You're better off with two distributors.
Yeah. And the biggest thing, though, like you've heard me say this 1,000 times, Jay, and you have too, Will. You've heard me say this 1,000 times. If you bring LeBron James in a time machine back into the time now, the person that he is now, take one clothesline and he's out of the league. He just cannot. He has the pain tolerance of wet paper. But at the same time, if you 1983 is his first year where you did that every time. You take where you have to have a pain tolerance. He's 40 pounds lighter because he wouldn't have the same training. The diet's not the same, but he has the same skills. Yeah, he could take it because it's called getting used to it.
Yeah.
It's called because those were the times when I'm talking about 83, 84, 82, 70s, 80, whatever. They used to play like that in Rucker Park. And now the playgrounds, on everything I did, you get nailed in the chops and you don't think about it.
Yeah.
They play like he came up in the AAU world. The ball world of the streets and and playing in high schools and everything was a different time.
But see, here's the thing. People don't keep that same energy for Jordan. They forget Jordan had to get in the gym and get bigger because he was getting whooped by the bad boys.
You know I will keep energy. You know I would keep energy with Jordan. You know I would. It's like I didn't even think about the thing, but I would keep that energy. It's because I tell the truth every dang time with it. It's like if you put him forward now, there's probably, here's the thing, it's probably 45, 50 points a game because no one touches anybody.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's not the same Jordan as Bird is not the same Bird because they can't trash talk and get in the head anymore. They get fined all the time.
Yeah.
So they are not the same if they move forward either because what made the stories that made Bird and MJ couldn't happen anymore.
True.
Because everybody gets fined all the time. So the times that people were in this world was the right time. We have our memories. Will has his memory of what he has. Everybody has our memory. There's a reason for everything.
It is. It is, absolutely. I mean, even older than us, we can go and we can talk to our great, predecessors, and they would tell you, man, it ain't even Jordan. Oscar Robertson was the greatest of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
There would be no Jordan without an Oscar Robertson to model his game after. Some would tell you Bill Russell was the greatest. It's cyclic. It's generational.
It's generational, and those same people who were calling Bill Russell the greatest of all time were going to his house and wrecking it after a finals.
Yeah,
they were doing racist taunts to him, which Michael never had to deal with.
Exactly. And then people from like Will's generation might say Kobe Bryant's the greatest. Are we really going to argue that? He has a shot at being the greatest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might say Kobe is the greatest. I wouldn't be mad at him for that take. They're not saying Dan Marley's the greatest of all time. Like, they're not saying nothing ridiculous. Nothing against Dan Marley, but yeah.
The next race will be Wembanyama. I mean, like I said, Wilt. I remember I said about 3-4 months ago, Wembanyama will do the next Wilt and be an assist title someday.
Yeah,
he will. This is where it will be because the game's going to get advance even farther there.
It will, as it always does. But we're
what do you want to say, Will? What do you want to say?
Nope, I have nothing.
Oh yeah, nothing. Okay. Final topic before we go, because tip-off's here in about maybe 5 minutes or so. But best NBA All-Star Game MVP in history. For me, and we've talked about this before, this actually was a basketball moment in time. I'm going with Magic Johnson in 1992, fresh off the heels of retirement. He came out of retirement for this one game, but fresh off the heels of retirement, because he had a retirement season in November of 1991 after announcing that he had contracted HIV. But he came back and called it ceremonial, called it, whatever you want. But he came in, he was it's fair to say that he was on the downside of his career, but he came in and dropped 25 points and had 9 dimes. My favorite point guard of all time, and also my favorite All-Star Game, most valuable player of all time, considering the circumstances. I've got Magic Johnson. Will, who you got?
Well, that was my second one because I knew you were going to pick that one, and we've talked about it
before. You knew it,
man. I was going to pick that one too, but I actually went with something different. In the 2011 All-Star Game, Kobe had 37 points and 14 rebounds, I think like 5 assists, and he beat LeBron's triple-double to win the MVP, and he tied Bob Pettit with 4 All-Star Game MVPs with this performance. So that's tied for most, and I grew up with Kobe. I caught the later half of Jordan, or the middle of Jordan. But yeah, and I've always loved Kobe. So yeah, I would have picked Magic Johnson, but like I knew that was like one of us was gonna pick it, and we've talked about it before, and it's a great choice. Definitely deserved it. Magic, what he did, what he overcame, in to play in that game. But yeah, I'm sticking with Kobe Bryant.
Awesome. Sounds good, man. Excellent. And um, who better than someone who idolized Jordan? Of course, the Jordan said himself. Everyone's talking about all these comparisons. The closest thing to me was Kobe Bryant. Period.
Exactly.
And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And that's why whenever people talk about, they try to compare LeBron James to Jordan, and
LeBron's
I'm like,
Magic,
no, LeBron is closer to Magic than Jordan. He's
and
closer to
that's
Magic.
what I've said for years. Also,
He's a lot closer to Magic, but just with a higher point per game rating. But Jacob, who do you got?
I am going with what I said earlier. This is my favorite. I liked the Tom Chambers one. I liked that one because there were people. I remember when the media, and I'm so young when this happened. I am 9 years old when this happened. Remember this, but I remember the media basically Bird with jumping ability.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
they were going all over that. And they were showing the highlights of that. The two that flew over everyone.
Oh, wow.
And and those types, and it's like, and you this to think back how many times he moved teams and just kind of became a role player and just realized just in the right situation he could have been an absolute star in the league.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't a bad
but
role player,
no, he was a good player, but he became just in the right situation with a team that if he would have gone in trades like around those times, he could have been amazing, And
Yeah,
I'm sorry, not
absolutely.
Seattle. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No problem. Actually, we have reached the end of the show. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to BasketBros. We will be back next week. Scott's going to be with us next week, correct?
Yep.
should be.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Again, thanks to everybody who tuned in. Please go and enjoy the All Star game, which is coming up here. Actually, in about 7 minutes, it's going to be tip off. So, Jacob, where can everyone find you?
Oh, everywhere, including Mount Rushmore. No.
I knew it.
Yeah, right. Let's see. Sunday nights here. Monday nights, pundit views. Tuesday night, it's nothing right now. We got that. But Wednesday night's a triple header. Pundit, the Sports Exchange, and now Confidential. Thursday nights, it's yin and yang away from Sideline Sports with TJ Sanson. And once in a blue moon, when you give me a call, I'm on Gauntlet. And then
Absolutely. We may just have you on for our season 3 premiere on March the 3rd. So I'll keep you posted on that.
No problem.
All right, and we'll on that too. If Sunday night here, Wednesday night I am off. I think it's off Sideline now, but I'm not sure when it's coming to Sideline. But I'm on Smoking Jeremy B's NFL Roundtable on Wednesdays. Fridays, I'm also a call away if people want me on the Gauntlet. I would love to be on the season 3 premiere. Love that show. And Thursdays, the Sip Off. So, yep, that's where you can find me.
All right. Well, for Jacob Christner and Will Vogel, I am Denzel Snipes. And enjoy the All-Star game. We will see you in 7 days. Later.